So look at it. So all these things will give you some real good clues when you understand the sexual compatibility. And also look at the different hours of the day when you are more sexually active. For example, I was talking about that. So for an example, a goat will be very active between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Monkeys are active between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. because this is the time when the monkeys become very alive and lively. That's when they play with the partners a lot. They enjoy going to amusement parks, cinema. They become very active, these people, monkey types, which is Purvashara and Shravana. You need to know that sometimes you need to slow down in life.
Yeah.
When you, so imagine if your partner is an elephant type and you are like a deer.
Yeah.
You need to understand there is a deer or rabbit or camel. They are connected with Anuraga and Jeshta. Okay, so when you look at the deer in the serene environment, you never know in which direction the deer will run. Once it gets alarmed or alerted. That's how the mind of the person is. They're very, very fickle, but they're very sensual. They like that sensuality and procreation as well. Because if you see how the deers breed, they breed very, and rabbits. They say, this is English saying, breed like rabbits. So they love to have this procreation. They love that. So look at it. So all these things will give you some real good clues when you understand the sexual compatibility. And also look at the different hours of the day when you are more sexually active. For example, I was talking about that. So for an example, a goat will be very active between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Monkeys are active between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. because this is the time when the monkeys become very alive and lively. That's when they play with the partners a lot. They enjoy going to amusement parks, cinema. They become very active, these people, monkey types, which is Purvashara and Shravana. The dogs are very, very active between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. That's when the sun has almost set. The dogs become, they get into a sense of duty of guarding the houses. So that's the Ardra type or the Mula type, which are the dogs. And they love to spend time at home. Between that time, 7 and 9 and after 9, usually you feel the dog types, they say, oh, let's go and party. They say, oh, let's sit at home and maybe have a glass of wine or maybe let's have some fun here at home. Why do you want to go out? Once they come back from home, they feel very tired. They have a great sense of duty between 7 and 9, which means that might keep them active in doing the household chores, or chores or whatever. But they love that, and they're quite very good at time and planning and organizing. So when between 7 and 9 you see move for the next day also, or plan for something future. I would say they might write something on paper so that they will be more organized. And after 9 o'clock, they are like homebirds. They love their space, they like to rest. The only animals which become very active during the midday, which is 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., are the horses. The horses are very active. Horses are associated with the sun god in Indian astrology, and the sun is a healer. And that's why you see two nakshatras which are connected to the horses, which is Ashwini Nakshatra and Shatabhishak. Both are connected to healers. Because the Ashwini Nakshatra is connected to the physicians of the gods called as Ashwini Kumaras, the two youthful horse-headed twins. And then you have Shatabhishak, means 100 cures or 100 physicians or 100 healers. Shatabhishaj. Both are connected to horses. Horses will give you a sense of healing. In any relationships, when you feel that you need healing, then you bring in pictures of horses in the house, and place it in the right place. And especially two horses, that means they're healers. Two horses represent that you need to heal the relationship. And when you want to heal a relationship, always go and meet your partner. Maybe when Shatabishak, the moon is transiting in Shatabishak, a moon is transiting in Ashwini, because it's understand that these two nakshatras can give you quick results. And you want to go on a long drive, it is Shatabishak, because Shatabishak is called as a Chara nakshatra. Chara means movable. There are certain nakshatras which are movable. There are certain nakshatras, if you want to propose to a partner on a certain day, then you always have to select those nakshatras which are permanent, which give you permanency or in partnership or solid unity. There are certain nakshatras which are good for dating, which is like the Falgunis, the Puru Falguni, Uttara Falguni, great energies for dating. Social networking, Puru Falguni, go on a dinner date with your partner, Puru Falguni. These are universal. But again, you need to then look at each of your charts, because Puru Falguni is the rat. That's what we mentioned. So that they love to really, and how the rats also breed. They breed way, so they want to have that. The union with the sexual partner comes from the Falgunis. And Uttara Falguni is more to do with commitments. So that's when you want to commit to somebody, then you take her out, or you want to propose to somebody and for marriage, and you always take her out in Uttara Falguni.
Yeah, they all are surrounded by food or something beautiful or something, a scenery with wine or champagne. That
Yeah,
is very true because, the horse thing is very interesting. I should have a picture of a horse in the back of my office
yeah.
to do that. I didn't know that part. But when it comes to like relationship where they're animals, because you're saying like certain activity that happens better during the day or versus with night, like the dogs are better at night. Um, the
The rats
cows,
as well. Yeah.
oh, and the rats as well, and the cats and the cows are very different. The cat likes to laze around. If you are with the cat, they like to. When they're upset, what they're gonna do is probably be hiding in some sort of corner in the house, just creating
Exactly.
comfort. And that's how when they are upset, they're mad, they get scared, they would run away, they would go and create comfort for themselves. But for somebody who's like myself, like Chitra as a tiger, we will destroy anything that comes our way. And we'll do that for a good hour, and then we're tired, and then we're done. We
Look at the tigers as well, Cindy. This is very interesting because you're Chitra. I want to say Chitras are very active between 3 and 5 a.m. 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. They're the most active. I've seen many Chitra people when I ask them, do you wake up around that time, or do you feel, if your partner is, sometimes they wake your partner up and you want to, make love. What time would it be? Just observe these things, because the tiger types usually go hunting for their prey between 3 and 5. The tigers hunt for the prey. When all the see, what does tigers know? Tigers know that when we go into a deep sleep of state, all animals on earth go into a very deep sleep of state between 3 and 4:30 or 4 o'clock. Usually for that 1 hour. That is because otherwise, if you see, we go through random eye movement. You know what is REM, right? Random eye. So when you go to sleep, you don't go into deep sleep of state. You go into random eye movement, and that is actually when your Mars is active in your body, because the antibodies are working very hard in trying to throw out all the intruders from the body. So the Mars, the commander, is going to say, "Oh, go here. I see there is some people who, some intruders have come here. Let's get them out from here." So throwing out those toxins from the body. And then you have Saturn, which is deep sleep state. When you go into Saturn mode, that's when you're in deep sleep state. That's when the body repair is happening, and that's Saturn. That's why they say Saturn needs complete rest. And why do you say when Saturn periods are operating, that's when you don't get much done? Because you're not meant to get much thing done. That's when Saturn has put you into a force state of body repair, mind repair, everything. So Saturn is very good to bring you into discipline. But people who are going at breakneck speed in their life, Saturn brings you a speed breaker. Slow down. Otherwise, you're going to meet with an accident. You can't be speeding all your life, isn't it? You need to sometimes rest. So the tigers know that all animals go into the deep sleep state when they get when they can't really decide because they're and that is the time when the tiger strikes. The tiger is active. And you see many people, the preference of those times will also be people wake up for having a glass of water sometimes, wanting to go just to get up and go to the toilet or whatever. Sometimes I've seen many people nowadays with the tiger type, they wake up between 3 and 5 just to look at their mobile phones to see what messages are there, and then they go back to bed. Do you do that,
Yes,
Cindy?
I do.
Yeah.
And it's during that time period, I go look at my phone, nothing
Yeah.
interesting, I go back to bed.
Go back to bed. That's you, because that's the tiger, isn't it?
Yes.
And sometimes you might be seeing if your partner has messaged you when you're asleep
Yeah.
during that time, 3 and 5.
Yeah. It's true.
So look at your mobile activity as well, during these certain times. Look at how you behave, how you react, how do you respond to people. And this is what I say, go to my app as well. We have got an app, Cosmic Insights. The team has done a wonderful job. We have a group of developers who have put in so much of effort over the last year or so. We've got some fascinating results coming even from the Hora. You know what is a Hora? The R. Which planet is ruling that R? You don't want to go and propose to your partner whenever it is Saturn Hora, because it's about restriction. It's about, you want to choose a very nice Hora which also suits you, a Venus Hora. Which hour are you going to propose to your, or which hour are you going to call your partner and say, oh, do you want to go on a date with me? Which hour do you want to actually, see whether the one is the yoni, this compatibility, but which hour do you feel during the day is the most active for you? Okay, so which hour can, if you're seeking to have, procreate, you look at Jupiter. Jupiter is the karaka for children, for procreation, for expansion. So you look and you invest your time. See, basically what I want to say, Cindy, is everything is based on the cosmos. The cosmos is completely aligned with you. We are the people who are not aligned. Humans are the only people. All animals just follow. It's early morning here for me. I can see the birds are chirping. They're up. They don't need the alarm clock. We need an alarm. I need an alarm to get up early. But they don't need. They know their biorhythms. They know when it is the mating season for them. They know all of that. They go with nature. There are only, I think, I don't know, there are only two mammals which actually have sex for pleasure, and that's one is, I've heard, obviously, human beings, and then I've heard about dolphins. There might be another species, but these are the two common ones which have sex for pleasure. But all other animals usually have sex for procreation. Right? So that's why you need to really be aligned with the nature and see how you align with them, and look at your partner and what is their yoni type. And when you're saying yoni, it doesn't represent only their reproductive, it's how they think, how they react. So that will actually give you greater clues. And sometimes then you realign yourself, you readjust, because that is their pathway, that is their mount. They walk, they're sitting on that. Why do you want to judge people then? You don't judge people. You either accept them or you let them go.
Yeah.
You say, okay, maybe you're a tiger, I am a bull. Okay, I am the way I am, and you have the masculinity. Bull is masculine.
Yeah.
Right? But you might find the attraction sometimes, but then you find, okay, when you start coexisting, you say, oh, no, I don't think we get along. Because then you say, oh, I recognize that he's a bull, I'm a tiger. And I appreciate that he remains a bull, because what we try to do in relationships, Cindy, we try to make the bull behave like a tiger.
And they don't look good.
Imagine if you're a tiger and you want your partner to behave like a tiger or wear a skin of a tiger and come,
Yeah. It just
isn't
doesn't
it?
look good.
It doesn't look good. So that is what happens. We always anticipate certain things, qualities in a partner. There is more acceptance which comes when you really know what type your partner is, what excites them, what turns them on bed. If it's playfulness, you have to play around. You just can't go. So you might be a different type. You might be a mongoose. Mongoose, what it does? You see the mongoose in the serpent's fight. The mongoose is it dodges. And you feel the mongoose, they're very difficult to commit in life, which is the Uttarasharas. They don't commit because they don't have a female counterpart in the system of the equal division of nakshatras. In the past, yes, there were 28 nakshatras. But when it became a 27 based nakshatra system, unfortunately, suddenly their partner is no longer there. And you see, Uttarashara people are very independent because Uttarashara means ultimate victory. And there can only be one victorious. So in a relationship, they always want to be, they want to show their supremacy sometimes. I don't mean to say they're not good partners. They'll be excellent partners. But when it comes to giving a commitment, a long-term commitment, they shy away sometimes. The mongoose type.
Oh, that's really interesting, what you just said, Dr. Arjun Pai. Your research is so in deep when it comes to like watching animals and how they react. And this is my research area as well because my client comes to me and they're like, I'm really having a sex problem. I'm like, no, you don't have a sex problem. You have a spirit animal problem.
Exactly.
And that's what we need to figure out what your partner is so that you can turn them on. And like how you were saying, the elephant, the hooking of the ear, they like ear kissing.
Yes.
And things
Absolutely.
like that,
Ear kissing,
right?
and fiddling around with the ears, because that's a very sensitive area for them. It can also give you pain, but it also gives you pleasure. If you look at the elephants, they use that for fanning their and bringing their energies low. A hand fan would be something that I would say for a Purvashara would be like. So there's so many things that you will find, small details which will actually make you feel that okay, there are certain for a tiger type, the tigers love to have shower twice a day. Because they love to cool their energies. Okay, so there are so many traits about tigers, animals. Observe National, Geography or Discovery Channel, and there are documentaries which keep coming about animals. What we do, we just switch over to some. If you're watching television, watch these animals, watch those documentaries. It doesn't, politics doesn't help you in any way. Stop those things, stop watching, whatever is happening with the politicians, you don't need to worry because they're running the country for you. You don't have to worry about them because you worrying or not worrying is not going to make any difference. Soap operas and all of these talk shows, they're good, but I'm just saying, watch more of what is there in nature. Then you'll be able to connect with your spirit type. And so then your sexual life will be much more enhanced. You will be able to give much better. And you'll understand your partner in bed better.
Dr. Arjun Pai, if somebody wants to know more about their yonis and how to calculate it and find out what their animal, is that something that they could do on their app or through your books? I know that you have a really great book. You have an amazing app that you develop. What is the best method for them to find out and learn about that?
So they can go. It's a free app. If you want to just know, the basic things, you can always download the app, Cosmic Insights. Okay, we are both on iPhone as well as Android, so you can just go and download it from your Play Store and then start using the app, and then you can see what your animal type is in the Vedic astrology. Also, you can find out about your partner. But if you want to know which of those animals are adversaries and what are the natural traits of those animals, which hours they are active, all of that is in my ebook, which I have. But if that's exclusively on nakshatras. The research that I've done on nakshatras, It's very in depth. It's about over 400 pages, so you can get so much of information from that ebook that you will actually know what your partner is, what is his liking, what will suit him. There are also certain places those nakshatras will be active. Imagine if you want to go and make love, what will appeal to your partner? Is it a city life? You want to take them to the woods, or you want to take them, what environment will actually enhance the qualities of your partnership and romanticism? Some people love to go to the beach. Some people would be more in the city. What environment, what setup? All of that has been given in my book. I've given what places, what days are favorable and unfavorable for you to propose based on, these are all scientifically been experimented by our seers and our ancients. It's over 5,000 years of, documented evidence that comes from these nakshatras. Okay, you don't need to be an expert because it's all explained there. All you need to know is what your nakshatra type is. Generally, people take the moon, but I would say use the other things as well, because if you're going through a major period of a particular planet, then that planet will also have an influence on you. So you'll also want to look at the nakshatra of the major period that you're going through, which we call it as in the Vimshotri Dasha, the 120-year period. In that, there are certain periods. Oh, are you influenced by Saturn for 19 years? Are you going through a Venus period now for 20 years? So in that 20 years, wherever Venus is sitting, that will also influence you. It will give you some great clues of how your partner, what are your likes and dislikes. Remember, nothing is fixed. Even in a partnership, even in a long-term relationship, you see preferences of your partner will change from certain dasha to an antar dasha. Major periods, sub-periods, they keep changing, including food habits, your taste buds, everything changes. The color of the clothes, something that you loved, Cindy, maybe 2 years ago, now that your favorite color was maybe yellow, and you always loved wearing yellow, but now it's red suddenly. Why? And you
Yeah.
have that yellow thing, it's still sitting in your wardrobe, but it has almost gone below. There's so many piles of other clothes which have come on top of it.
Yeah.
But you would wonder, at one point of time, I used to love this color yellow and I used to wear this but now I don't seem to. So preferences keep changing because
Yeah.
of that. So also understand about those. What colors will appeal to your partner? So that is also given in the ebook, or you can also go to the app. You can see in the app. The app is very, very exhaustive, and day-to-day decision making can also be helped. It gives you indications of what periods are happening. There are certain periods that you never want to go. They call as Rahu Kal. There's Yamaganda Kal. These are the periods that you typically need to avoid. Asking for date or going. All of these are there. It's freely available. But if you want to go for a premium version of the app, then you can upgrade the app as well. You can go for a monthly subscription or half-yearly subscription, or you can go for a lifetime subscription. There's no half-yearly. I think yearly. There is monthly, yearly, and lifetime.
I just want to thank you so much for explaining that. I know if my audience don't understand a few of the terminology, I'm just going to quickly explain it, but Dr. Arjun Pai can correct me if I'm mistakenly.
Sure,
So hora means hour. So that means a time period that is really suited for you. So when you make a decision like timing to buy a house or timing to call your partner, those are a big decision factor. That could be also calculated. He was talking about dasha. So dasha meaning like a cycle period that we all go through certain cycles. So like he was mentioning earlier about like if you're going through a Venus dasha, maybe there's a certain color that you are more attracted because it's activated in your birth chart. And also maybe if a certain you're attracted to a certain partner, they will show up also in the Navamsha as well. So
Yes.
so that will be a different chart as well as not only your birth, you also have a relationship chart as well. So things do activate. So the more that you learn about you, the better that you can communicate to your partner. Do you agree, Dr. Arjun Pai?
I feel 100%. We can communicate better, and we can also understand our partners better. Because this system is not only talking about your sun signs, but it's going very deeper into understanding the different layers. And when you go to the app, you'll also know what their preferences are, what their body constitution type is, because based on the Ayurvedic principles as well, and based on the planets that you have, we call it Vata Pitta Kapha, um, Ayurvedic, because that's also important. Because also remember, we get attracted to people because of the pheromones. Pheromones play a very important role. And the pheromones and the pheromones and the what do you call, the scent or the fragrance or the body odor, that also sometimes attracts you. That also comes from the major period of certain planets operating, your body constitution, what you eat, what type of food you're eating, that also creates, and that's why you get attracted more to certain people. So you understand your body constitution as well. That's actually is very important, because Ayurvedic is only another way of trying to connect with the right set of people in your life, so that you can have a healthy relationship as well. But that is again based on nakshatras as well. There's two. They're called three doshas. Three dosha means three. Three means three. Doshas means imbalances in the body. So these are the three imbalances that can create. If you have more of, kapha, means there's more of, water element in your body. So there could be chances that. So again, the hora that you're mentioning about, the hora is a Greek word. Hour, the word hour comes from hora. It's a Greek terminology. So imagine if you're planning to lose weight. What is best? You have more food when you are in Saturn hora. You will not eat much. It will not impact your body, your physical body. Imagine if you're eating a lot in Jupiter hora. Even if you eat, one wafer, you'll put on weight. You say, I'm just having a small piece of chocolate, and that was enough. One piece of chocolate in a Jupiter hora. You suddenly say, I don't know what I'm doing. I go and work out, but I don't. So when do you work out then? You work out more in certain hora. When you want to go and go out on a date, you go out on a certain hour of the day. And when you want to go and ask your boss for a rise in salary, then you can ask him a specific hora. That gives you great success.
Yeah, I think I need to do an experiment with my client about having sexy time in the different hora based on their nakshatra, right?
Nakshatra, try it.
Yeah,
try it.
and see what they actually come out as a result, if it actually really works for them, because everything that you're saying, it really connects, and that's why I do this research. And I want to hear what you had to say, or what you have seen, or expert in this area, research in this area, because it makes a big difference, because at the end of the day, we all are spirit animals, and in one type or a different type, right? So I think when it comes to like relationships, like how do we fight in a relationship? How do we make up in a relationship? For a cat, you might want to hug them.
Yes, absolutely. And they like to coil themselves.
Yes.
They like to coil themselves and sleep and cuddle and coil, and sometimes you need to give the cats a little bit of space. You see, cats they like to be, but sometimes they get angry. You just need to know, okay, I need to give them some time.
Yes, and honestly, what you were saying about politicians, they have their own animal kingdom that they're already running. Just leave them alone.
Leave them alone. Don't get into politics. Don't get into debate. Why I say that is, then you're getting your other aspects of your life. You're not functioning very well. Your sexual life, your professional life. I say there are 4 types of lives that you need to live. One is your public life. Okay. Then you have your professional life. Then you have a personal life. Personal life is between you and your partner and your children or whatever. That's personal to you. Within your home, that's personal. When above all of that, there is something as a private life. If you don't have a private life, if you make your personal life private, then you're not enjoying yourself. What is personal? Personal is what you enjoy doing. It could be reading a novel, sitting, or you could be going for a jog. You will never be able to share that pleasure with somebody else. Or you might want to go and play tennis. That's private to you. Okay? And you might have other, adult entertainment people, who want to have their private life, something. But that is private to you. And what is what? So remember, these 4 areas is what is very important in making relationships work. Your public life, how are you seen in public, and that is important. Your professional life, keep all these departments different. Don't mix your professional life with your personal life, and your personal life with your private life, and your private life is a public life. When you keep all of them separate, I think you'll become a very well grounded, and you'll see your life become much better. Many of us, we make our social lives or our public life personal, or we go out too much with our people in the office or something. It's good to go once in a while, but imagine if every day you're going and partying along with them. Then even in work there is no discipline, there is no seriousness, because you can't go and tell your friend, let's do this or let's do that.
It's totally true. And I want to thank you, and we're running out of time. I thank you
know.
so much for jumping on here and discussing about your research and I'm pretty sure you have helped so many couples who's going to be watching this and understanding about themselves, your app. I'll link everything down below in the description. So his books and the apps where you can download it. And I recommend you just trying it out and just learning more about yourself. And that's really an encouragement. And then once you understand about yourself, you can apply the same. So it's a really great space to do that. So Dr. Arjun Pai, thank you so much for coming on, and namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you very much.